So if you watch Markets in 5, then you know that seasonally we're approaching a very difficult time of the year. August and September have always created a fairly big challenge for the market. So the question is, are we about to hit a soft patch? Stick with me. My name is Brian Cannon, and welcome to Markets in 5. There's a lot here to unpack on this chart, so I'm just going to kind of take it section by section. Hopefully you can follow along here. So this is obviously the S&P 500, and in breaking out of this downtrend, it's had kind of a nice little reversal here this year. So the question is this going to continue to move up and reach all-time highs, or are we, about to enter a soft patch? And I would say the odds are probably more in favor of a soft patch, but there's a lot that's going to make that determination here. So if we look at just simply the RSI up here, the relative strength index, essentially it's still positive, right? So anything above 50 is generally a good sign. That's where you want RSI to stay, is above 50. If it does, generally speaking, it's not to say you're going to avoid volatility, but you generally have a healthy market. It's headed the right direction. And when you drop below that 50 is generally when you need to be a little bit careful, not to say that it can't bounce around a little bit and be sideways, but you want to make sure that you're not spending the majority of your time below that 50 mark. And so currently we're above 50, so that's good. And we've stayed above it during this run off the bottom for the most part this year. So we, again, are watching this level, want to make sure that RSI sticks above 50. Now we've got, as this price action heads up, we've got a lot of various moving averages that we can use as support. We've got channel trend we can use as support. We've got kind of some lower support on an upper kind of trend basis here, these red lines that we can use as support, and a number of them collide. And the more kind of things that support a theory, the more importance that has with traders, right? So for instance, as this price moved up, it found some support here. It came up and found some resistance along this upper line here, and then when it broke this support, it came up and tested it, couldn't get through it, and then the bottom fell out, right? And then it established the bottom trend. So we've got a couple of things working against us. I would say that we're at the upper end of this range. Not to say that it can't run this range for a little bit longer. At this point, you've got to just be a little bit on alert that there's a chance that this rolls back down and finds some support on some of these lower levels. So again, it's like putting together the pieces of the puzzle and trying to find the picture. And ultimately, we won't know until the puzzle's built for us. But we want to kind of start looking for the clues. So the clues are, we're still good on the RSI, but it is rolling over. We want to just kind of make sure that it stays in this area. The market is good. It's in the upper end of the range. It's it's holding support at this point, so that's good. But again, if it drops down, then we need to just be prepared to look for some of these lower levels of support to potentially buy, or at least be watchful of. And then finally down here, the MACD. So again, when you have a kind of a MACD rollover and it rolls over hard, generally speaking, that's something to be aware of. Now, if it rolls over and just kind of putters and stays in kind of a sideways motion, it's just usually sideways consolidation. In other words, this move up, kind of absorbed or just consolidated this move. And so, our MACD didn't really roll over hard. It just kind of just became, kind of a sideways move here until the next jolt up, and then the same thing. So are we going to consolidate this move and just move sideways here, or is it going to roll back over? And so again, that's kind of the third part of the puzzle. So this three-prong approach will kind of help us determine the direction of the market. All right, so wanted to follow up on a position that I'd highlighted earlier, Veritiv. They had earnings yesterday and blew it out. So they smoked earnings, and as a result, their stock was up almost 30% yesterday. So now we bought the position about 3.5 months ago down here around 14. So again, it closed yesterday over 34%. So we've got over 120% inside of about 3.5 months. Now this is a position we had taken some profits along the way, but we left enough on there to be meaningful. So it certainly did have a nice impact on some of our portfolios that hold it yesterday. So I think at this point it's reasonable to assume that if we don't have a pull down, we certainly will experience some consolidation and a lot of sideways volatility and chop. Lots going to depend on earnings this week, and certainly we've got all of our levels that we're going to watch, and we'll make decisions where necessary. But if you have any questions, give me a shout, and I look forward to seeing you on the next Markets in 5.